Yeah, they tell you that you should quit trying. You were too small, that you were too young. They tell you the chance is too slim, the world is too big, but you say, how come? I'm ready to light a new fire, raise a new flag, to cross a new sea. And if I'm ever the one in your way, then put your head down and run right through me. I keep settling for so much less. Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before. So we get out of here, plot twist that we didn't see coming. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before. And when we get out of here, we'll never stop running. It's something like a shadow in the valley, colossal. Open up your eyes, young one, and be watchful. Behind closed doors, trying to write a new gospel. They are not God, they're not even apostles. I come with the dumb drum banging you breathless. Enemies freeze, left bent and defenseless. Straight for the chest of anybody against us. The more they resist it, the more that they tempt us. I keep settling for so much less. Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before. So we get out of here, plot twist that we didn't see coming. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before. And when we get out of here, we'll take off and never stop running.
All right. Bulls are able to figure out the Raptors defense. They win this game 111-97. Zach LaVine obviously played in this one and looked great. And luckily the Bulls got a win in this one because, my God, did they need this win. I was not happy after last night, but I'm definitely much happier tonight that the Bulls got this one, as they should have gotten this one. But welcome in to all of you viewers. TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel, here for doing film breakdown analysis on Chicago Bulls on this channel. I am gonna be just doing a small post-game recap in this one. Very little film to break down on this one. I'm definitely gonna be breaking down the how the Bulls beat the Raptors defense, because that was the main thing tonight. But I'm also very tired and I need to go do a lot of homework, so I'm not going to be doing long stream tonight, but good to see y'all and that are watching and are in chat. So yeah, Bulls got this win. This is a huge win because I honestly thought Billy Donovan's coaching career might be on the line. Last game, I was pretty upset with the Bulls because I thought DeRozan's going to get dunked. We all should have seen that coming from the Toronto Raptors, because they did it last year. They did it the year before with Zach LaVine when DeRozan wasn't here before. They did it when LaVine and DeRozan were here. Okay? The Bulls should have saw last night coming with the double team on DeRozan. Just straight up. They should have seen it coming. But for some reason, Billy Donovan and the crew weren't ready for it, and that made me very upset. The Bulls should have easily won last game, in my opinion. I know LaVine didn't play, but Pascal Siakam was out for the Raptors, not only last night, but also tonight. So I thought the Bulls should have won yesterday, but they didn't. And if the Bulls didn't beat the Raptors tonight at home with LaVine, and again, Raptors don't have Siakam, that would have been an issue, in my opinion. That would have been a severe issue. But obviously, you can see how important Zach LaVine is to this team. And, he was easily the best player of the game tonight, easily. On both sides. A couple of things I want to point out, though. I said yesterday that even if LaVine played yesterday, I still didn't think the Bulls would win, because the Bulls gave up 25 second chance points to the Toronto Raptors. They gave up 62 points in the paint. And I think I'm not sure about the fast break opportunities, but either way, the Bulls got out rebounded. They gave up way too many second chance points, and they gave up 62 points in the paint last night. That's the reason why I'm like, well, even LaVine plays, these are still issues on the court, right? It's still issues that it's not, he can't fix it all. It doesn't matter who you have. You can have Kevin Durant out there, and he's not going to fix those issues. So it's important that everyone takes responsibility for what happened last night and play better. And that's exactly what the Bulls did. They out-rebounded Toronto Raptors 57-40, which was absolutely huge. They only gave up 4 second chance points this game, which is critical, as this Raptors team overall is probably bigger than the Bulls because the Bulls play smaller on the wings than the Raptors do. And Raptors still got a decent amount of points in the paint with 50, but obviously it's not 62. So I think that's at least a positive sign. It's not great, but it's better than last night. And it still ended up working out because the Raptors shot only 32% from three-point range, 42% overall. Therefore, they only scored 97 points. That's the biggest thing here, I think, for me, is that this Raptors team that scored, I believe, 113 last night only got to 97 this night. Obviously, second game of back-to-back, but same thing with the Bulls. So I think that's huge. And it's not just about figuring out this Toronto Raptors defense on DeMar DeRozan. It's also these other things that the Bulls have to control, which is the rebounding battle. Don't give up any offensive rebounds to the Toronto Raptors. Don't give up any second chance points. And don't give up that many paint points. Win the paint battle in terms of paint points. And they did all those tonight. Obviously, the turnovers were bad. The other thing last night was that the Bulls gave up a lot of points off turnovers. Bulls still had 21 turnovers, but I think luckily for them tonight, a lot of them were dead ball. A lot of dead ball turnovers, and what I mean by dead ball is a lot of travels, a lot of stepping out of bounds, which that's not exactly something that is on the players itself. I just realized my camera is for some reason off. I apologize for that, and I'm gonna fix that right now. Yeah, so just kind of stuff that I was looking at today, and I think it's important to point out. Hopefully, okay. I guess my camera. Hello, test. All right, my microphone is back, but my camera is not back yet. And let me give you a second here. Definitely not the way I wanted to start stream tonight, but it is what it is. There we go. I'm back now. Sorry about that, y'all. So yeah, again, just the Bulls. They control things that they can control, right? Point rebounding battle. No second chance points for the Raptors. Win the paint battle in terms of paint points. They did all of it, and then obviously the other part of this is getting out in transition. Bulls have more fast break points than the Toronto Raptors. Totally unprofessional. I apologize, Joe. I am very sorry. Not a professional streamer, by the way. I make fun of streamers that have technical difficulties that are professional streamers. It's a funny joke, but I'm not a professional streamer, and I'll admit it firsthand. I'm still learning. But yeah, so good job by the Bulls to fix those things that I just talked about from last night's game. And again, 97 points, only giving up, which is great. So good job there. By the way, I think the Bulls defense has actually been pretty okay. I still call them out on a bunch of things because I think this Bulls team can get better on defense. But overall, I mean, I still think right now, I think they're top 10 in defensive rating right now. So I give credit there for that type of stuff. But for film breakdown, I'm going to steal a lot of stuff from MK Hoops today. This is Mark. He works for CHGO. Again, love CHGO. They're a great company right now. But this is basically kind of breaking down how the Bulls got through the double team when DeRozan's being doubled. Sorry, specifically when DeRozan's being doubled. How do you get through the double team, right? I talked about this in my previous stream yesterday night. Like, this is how the Bulls need to get through the double team. This is what they have to do. And they did that tonight, which was really good to see. So, for example, we're going to take this one, which is by Javonte Green. Oh, that's volume. I apologize here. Go back. So, the ball's right. You see right here, DeRozan's doubled immediately. Okay, the Raptors. You see DeRozan, or you see them double DeRozan here. You see them double him atop the key, but they're basically trying to get DeRozan in a spot where he can't move backwards. And he's forced to pass it out. Okay, so the release valve here is Vucevic, right? Now, if you're Nikola Vucevic, once you have the ball right now, you need to look right here to get inside. I don't care if it's you, but specifically get the ball inside here in this little area by the free throw line. You have to get the paint touch. I don't care if it's him dribbling there, or he passes it to someone there. this is where you have to look, because if you get the ball here, then one of either Scotty Barnes or Gary Trent Jr. has to move on over to cover up the paint. That's how you get the zone, quote unquote, to shift. And you see Vucevic realizes, oh, hey, Patrick Williams, you're in the middle here. And he throws it to Patrick Williams. And because Patrick Williams is in the middle of the floor here, then Scotty Barnes had to move off of Ayo Dosunmu to come over and protect the paint. Now, guess what? Ayo Dosunmu is wide open, and that's a wide open three-point shot. Ayo has to knock this down. He hit, I believe, 2 of 5 tonight, and he did just that. That's how you beat this double team, right? Now, the other thing is what I was actually starting to get a little upset about is I thought the Bulls initially, even at the start of the game, were getting a little too many. We're getting a little too three happy, specifically with Ayo. Ayo was just kind of shooting threes, which is not exactly what you want to see, in my opinion. I think you need to see the guys attack the paint, and obviously Zach LaVine did a lot of that tonight, and that's where Zach is extremely valuable, because if you double DeMar, that leaves a wide open lane for Zach to attack. So here, you can't see DeRozan being doubled, but in this play here, DeRozan got doubled, okay? Now, it's thrown back out to Ayo Dosunmu, and his job, and I like what he did here, is he has to draw multiple defenders and get to the middle of the floor. Get the ball here in this area, okay? Because over here in the corner, which you can't see, is Patrick Williams, and if Ayo is able to get the ball into the corner here, into the middle of the paint here, then his man, which is Juancho Hernangomez, has to move over and cover up Ayo Dosunmu from getting an easy layup. So Ayo does the perfect thing, which is get into the middle of the floor. You see Hernangomez comes on over, and because Hernangomez came on over, Patrick Williams is able to get an alley-oop dunk out of it, right? That's how you beat this zone, right? This gimmick defense, I like to call it. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. And I thought the Bulls did a really good job tonight of beating it for most of the game. I'm not going to say throughout the entire game, especially because early on, the Bulls were shooting a lot of threes, and that's not what I want to see. The Raptors in this sort of defense, they're basically saying to the Bulls, shoot the ball. Unless your name is Zach LaVine, we're daring you to shoot the three ball. I know Ayo is shooting like 40% from three-point range to start the year, but he's still not a proven shooter, right? I know with Patrick Williams, he might be shooting it, or I don't even know his percentages, but still not a proven shooter. They're basically saying to those two guys, or even Vucevic, if he catches it out there, shoot it. We're going to dare you to shoot it because you're not a great three-point shooter. Obviously, when it comes to Zach LaVine, and this is where Zach's very valuable, they can't let him be because Zach's over like a 30 or 40% three-point shooter or better. So they can't let Zach be alone. But when it comes to other guys, they're saying, hey, shoot it. And that's where it's like, no, you're supposed to go attack the paint, whether that's you storing the layup or that's you opening up something else for another teammate. Attack the paint first. If you attack the paint and you get a wide open three because of it, I feel a lot better about that because you got a paint touch. But going from double team on DeRozan to swing, ball never touches the paint, I have an issue with that. I don't think that's a good idea for the Bulls if they shoot the three ball and never touch the paint. Get to the paint first, then if you need to throw it back out, go ahead. But I thought the Bulls mostly tonight did a good job of getting through this defense that the Raptors deployed out there. I was a little shocked that they actually didn't double team LaVine. Honestly, I thought that the Raptors won because the Bulls staggered DeRozan and LaVine. So I thought that LaVine was going to get double teamed early on, or when DeRozan was out of the game, it was just LaVine on the floor. But the Raptors decided not to do that, and thank God they didn't do that, as Zach LaVine had a phenomenal game tonight because of it. So I appreciate that, Raptors. You helped the Bulls out a lot by doing not doubling LaVine. I like that Ayo tested himself with his threes in the beginning. I'm cool with it. Like, by the way, I'm not saying that Ayo should never shoot threes. I think that it's just the Bulls should look to get to the paint first and then kick it out for a three-point shot. But Ayo shooting threes, I have full confidence in him. I said that he's going to be a 35% or better three-point shooter this season. I still stand by that. And then obviously, we saw Ayo knock down multiple threes later on in the game after he missed 3 straight to start. He showed his weakness, but that has to happen early. It's okay though. I don't have too much of an issue with it. But again, I think it's just more get to the paint first, then you can shoot the three. But Not the biggest thing in the world. Um, so yeah, just good job by the Bulls tonight. And honestly, in my opinion, if the Bulls did not win this game tonight, I'm being serious right now. Like Billy Donovan's, I'm not saying he's gonna get fired because I don't think Billy Donovan's gonna get fired in the middle of the season, but he would have, like, this would have definitely been something on his record where it's a bad sign. Something that's very negative on his record. That two straight games in a row against the same team that doesn't have their All NBA All Star and Pascal Siakam, um, you weren't able to beat this defense, which should be beatable, um, two nights in a row. That would have been awful on Billy Donovan's record. And I think that's something that would have absolutely been put in consideration at the end of the season, and potentially not bring him back because of it. But luckily, they figured it out tonight. I'm not saying Billy was perfect tonight. He definitely wasn't. There was a couple moments where I thought Billy did make some good decisions, but he got through the defense tonight, and you could actually see on the sideline that Billy Donovan was like on the clipboard showing like, okay, when they double here, this is where you guys got to go, and you saw it on the court tonight that guys are making a concerted effort to get to the right spots, knowing that DeMar DeRozan is going to get doubled. So I thought, just good job by Billy Donovan um, tonight, and that's really good to see. Other thing I want to talk about is Zach LaVine. I think that this is actually a really good sign by Zach tonight. Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments on what I'm about to say here, but I think Zach had, like, this was the best we've seen Zach in terms of his quickness and his ability to break down his defender. Right. I think obviously in the Cleveland game he looked really good, but we haven't really been able to see him get to the rim as quickly as we saw tonight. And Zach was just breaking down anybody in front of him, which was awesome to see. And he was able to get right to the rim at will, which is really good. But I still think with Zach right now, he's still not 100%. Um, on a couple of his layups, it just seems like he's still not getting that his normal lift on his shot. We saw one layup where he got a flat tire and it just kind of he flicked it off the backboard and it didn't come anywhere close to the rim in the first half. But then there was a play where he completely broke down Chris Boucher and he just got right past him. But then when he went up for the layup, he got fouled. But it's like I'm used to seeing Zach look to finish it a little bit harder than he did on that possession. Again, not trying to nitpick, but still though, I think this was a really good game by Zach, and I think probably the best we've seen him this season in terms of his quickness and ability to break down his defender. I still think the next step for him, and once he gets back to being full, like 100%, is going to be his lift. I think that's the next step coming. Um, and I think that's a good thing right now to see for the Bulls is that his ability to get past the defender looks great. He's able to get to the rim at will, which is great. But then the next part is getting that lift and explosion to the basket. And that's when I think his restricted area field goal percentage is going to look a lot better. He looked good? Yeah, he definitely looked good tonight. Good to see you again, Viper Strike. Anthony, sounds like the bench picked it up. Yeah, it wasn't just the bench. I think it was everybody, honestly, Anthony. Obviously, having Zach back helps a lot when DeRozan's being double teamed consistently. But yeah, the bench definitely also had a huge role tonight. Goran Dragic had another big game, and I'm happy to see that he got more minutes than last game because I thought he should have closed last game, but he didn't. And Derrick Jones Jr. was 5 for 5 tonight, and what was just being active on defense, and we saw him get a lot of opportunities on the screen and roll as well. So, yeah. DeMar didn't even hit double digits. Yeah, which is the crazy thing about this team, right? Like, I think this team doesn't get enough credit for like the surrounding cast. Stacey King says this team is like one of the best benches in the league. I wouldn't say it's like a top 5 bench, but it's definitely up there in one of the better benches in the league. Especially with Drummond, who unfortunately wasn't able to play tonight, but he was questionable, so that's good. That's good progress. Hopefully Drummond's available against the Pelicans because I think we're going to need him against them. But yeah, I think this team overall, like you see that there's multiple guys that can actually score on this team. Just last night, for some reason, it just seemed like everyone kind of forgot how to play basketball. So yeah. Dragic looking like the best value of all the league. Hey man, I said it when Dragic was picked up. Like a lot of people were like, "Ugh, I don't know about Dragic," and someone even tried on Twitter saying like, "I don't trust his 3-point percentage," and I'm like, Goran Dragic has been like a consistent 3-point shooter in his entire career. Like it's like 36% for his career or something like that. And they were looking at his last season where he barely played, and he shot like in the 20s, I think. But in my opinion, I'm thinking to myself like, we just signed Dragic to the minimum, and it's basically as if he's replacing Matt Thomas, right? Like that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great signing. And I don't think people understood that. So I'm happy he's here. He's helped a lot. And in a game like this where the Raptors are forcing the others to make decisions, Dragic is one of the best decision makers on this team, easily. And we saw that tonight, obviously, with his great play. Derrick Jones Jr. really matches really well versus Toronto's lineup. I like seeing him get minutes. I agree with that statement, and yes, I'm also happy he's getting minutes. He definitely, I kind of thought he was kind of out of the rotation at the beginning of the season, but it's good to see him get minutes again. He's also on a value contract as well. I think we talked about this before on this channel a lot. Like Drummond, Dragic, and Derrick Jones Jr. very valued contracts, right? All making pretty cheap money, and you're getting a lot of value out of those guys. So again, credit to front office for those moves. Not saying the front office has been perfect, but those are fantastic moves that the front office did with those three guys. But yeah, I just a lot better tonight by this Bulls team, and obviously, my mental sanity is a lot better because of it too, because they played it right tonight, which is exactly what I wanted to see. So Bulls, what they need to take from this game, I can't stress this enough. Like Stacey King kind of mentioned it in the broadcast. It's a copycat league, right? And so if teams kind of look at this and are like, oh, DeMar DeRozan 2 for 6, 9 points, like they're gonna try to employ that. And I'm not gonna say they're gonna employ it the entire game, but you might see it a lot during crunch time when the ball is usually in DeRozan's hands. That you're gonna see teams really look to trap him early. And it's on the Bulls to make sure that if DeRozan's trapped, you have to play it correctly. You have to look to get a paint touch if DeRozan's being trapped on a double team, right? You can't just be settling for the 3-point shot because that's what the opposing team wants. You have to get to the paint first. If it's a paint touch, then a kick out for a 3, fine. But get to the paint. Get to the paint first, get to the middle of the floor, and force the defense to rotate if DeRozan's being double teamed. Because we can't solely rely on his brilliance down the stretch. It's going to have to be a collective effort when it comes to when DeRozan's being doubled. It has to be everybody that has to help him out and help the team out when DeRozan's being doubled. What's going on, Marvin? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, I think this is good for the Bulls to get through this now. Obviously, it was the 11th game now, I think. It's good that they got through this learning process now, early in the season. So hopefully then they can take a couple practices to learn from this experience when facing the Raptors and know what to do when DeRozan's being doubled by other teams as well. Because I can definitely see a Boston Celtics team that we're going to face again very soon. I can definitely see them double teaming DeRozan after he just put up 46 on their head in TD Garden, right? I can see that 100% happening, especially with their athletic and long defenders with Tatum Brown, Smart, etc. Right? So it's on the Bulls to be ready for this type of stuff from opposing teams. Yeah, and I will say this just to cap off this whole DeRozan being double teamed. It obviously helps if LaVine's there. If LaVine's there, it helps so much. But still, though, what it doesn't do is it doesn't completely eliminate the trap on DeRozan. I think a lot of people are kind of like, well, oh, if LaVine's there, then DeRozan won't be doubled. I'm like, no, he's going to be doubled. DeRozan's going to 100% still be doubled, even if LaVine's there. But LaVine can take advantage of that double team a lot better than some of the other players on this roster. Still more optimistic about this season, even though we're 6-6. Are we 6-6? I don't even remember what we are. But yeah, I'm personally more optimistic about the season as well, Marvin. Again, I predicted the Bulls would win more games than last season. And I still stand by that. I know that I've been seeing your comments on my channel. I appreciate you commenting, but yeah, I still I still see this team getting more wins than last season. But you're very optimistic about this team. Like, you're thinking like 50 plus wins, which I don't see this team getting. But I'm glad that you're very optimistic about them. Not too worried about the double team on Demar. Rather see it early than late. We can make our adjustments. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's definitely huge for this Bulls team is that they saw it now compared to later, and they should be ready. I mean, honestly, this should really help in playoff time. Like, this should help tremendously in the playoff time. Like, sometimes, like, for example, against the Milwaukee Bucks, right? When we saw DeRozan and Levine just constantly being like, it's like basically pre-rotated on. Like, it's the same kind of defense, right? It's not like an absolute double team at half court like we're seeing with the Toronto Raptors. It's a very similar defense, but you still beat it the same way. So this Bulls team, they got the experience now. Obviously, they played with each other last season. It's good that they're getting through this now. That's obviously huge, and they should 100% be prepared for it next time they see it down the line. Yeah, uh, good win overall, and go vote. As a lot of NBA teams are imploring today, so go vote tomorrow. I already voted. I voted on Sunday. So yeah, go vote. So good stuff there. And if anything of yesterday's game, Terry also got good minutes and P-Will got aggressive. So in hindsight, it was good loss in my opinion. Yeah, I guess I'll say because I was very critical of the Bulls last night. Because Levine wasn't there. I understand where it's like, you know what, it's all right. This Raptors team is pretty good. You still have to give them that credit. I mean, I give this Raptors defense a lot of credit, man. Like they have a lot of great defenders, but yeah, I still think the Bulls should have won last night. But it was good to see Patrick Williams and Dalen Terry get obviously Dalen Terry get a lot of minutes, and then Patrick Williams looking aggressive. And overall, I just think Patrick Williams is looking a lot better in the past week and a half or so with his games and his aggressiveness. So yeah, and I'm telling you, man, like Terry, like he obviously came in and had an immediate impact, and which was really good to see last night. But there's still some stuff that he has to work out. And, he's a rookie. That's totally fine. But I would like to see him. I don't know how it's going to work out because Levine. I think Levine's going to be playing for like the next month and a half or so. So yeah. I think we're not going to see Levine sit out for another game for a while, and obviously that's a good thing. So I just don't know where Terry kind of fits into the lineup. Kobe's already out of the rotation right now because of injury, and Terry hasn't replaced him. The Bulls just went to a 9-man instead of sticking to their 10-man. So maybe Terry gets a run against one of the worst teams in the NBA, and that'd be awesome to see because I still think at some point he's gonna have some sort of impact on this team during the season. So yeah, other Bulls news I wanted to actually talk about was thank you Portland Trailblazers and Jeremy Grant and Josh Hart. They're winning right now. Portland is. Chauncey Billups is actually, I think, doing a really good job as coach. But they're winning, and I appreciate that they're winning because Bulls obviously have their draft pick if it's not a lottery pick. So I appreciate that as well. Just keep my head above water, get to the trade deadline, make her. I think I know what you're saying though, Marvin. But yeah, I said this last night as well. Just tread water, basically, for this Bulls team. Obviously, the upcoming schedule for this Bulls team is not pretty. There is a lot of teams coming up here that's like, oh, like that's not fun. Obviously, New Orleans is not easy. Zion, and Bi and CJ McCollum. Denver, 2-time MVP Jokic, and then we're back to facing New Orleans again. Orlando should be. I mean, I don't want to say Orlando's simple because Orlando obviously was giving the Bulls problems. Gave the Bulls problems last season, and they play big. I mean, they have Bull starting like the 2 guard. Excuse me. So that's not an easy game. Then Boston, Milwaukee, obviously tough teams. Two of the top 3 teams in the East. And then OKC and Utah, we get a little bit break. But then we face Phoenix and Golden State, right? Like we don't really see kind of like a drop off until we get into December months. So, or just the month of December. So those are the games where it seems like things get a little bit easier. But for now, just kind of tread water. And I think this Bulls team's looking good. Pelicans lost to the Pacers tonight. Maybe we catch them on a bad night. I would hope so. Yeah. But I also think Miles Turner had a big play in that. As I think Turner had 37 points tonight or something like that. He had a monster game, which was just not normal. But yeah, Pelicans are definitely like they're not like I think with the Pelicans, they're still kind of figuring it out. So I think that's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe we can sneak a win on them, but that team looks really good talent wise. Have we got update on Drummond? What's going on with him? So Drummond was listed as questionable before tonight's game. He got upgraded from being out to being doubtful to then being questionable, but then I think about 30 minutes before the game started, he was listed as out again. So he's clearly making progress, which is good to see. But he was not playing tonight. He looked like he was a game time decision tonight. So that's good. So he's making a lot more progress than Kobe White right now. But I hope Drummond is available Wednesday. If not, then I'm gonna probably guess Drummond is gonna be let's see where we're at. Available against Denver. I think he should be available then because that's like the next week. I think it might be a week from today, honestly. So hopefully he plays on Wednesday. If not, he probably plays against Denver. That's my guess. Kobe White is still dealing with a lot of bruising right now with his quad, and he is just still listed as out. So no update on Kobe White. Obviously, it looks like the Bulls are gonna be okay without him, but no update on him right now. So, yeah, it looks like we're not gonna see Kobe for a while. I'd be shocked if he's playing by next week, considering how bad this looks for him. Wondering if something else that's going on with Kobe. Golden State looking iffy. Yeah, they definitely looking iffy, but I just think it's kind of like the hangover effect from their championship run. That Golden State team looks scary still. I don't care if they're starting out bad and haven't won a road game. That team looks scary. Obviously Steph is still there, and I know Clay hasn't looked the best, but that team is still scary to me. And I don't think we should be underestimating them because I guarantee you, once January or let's just say Christmas comes around, we're gonna see this Golden State team look just fine, and they'll be back to normal. I will say though that their young guys haven't looked the best. Kuminga is like not even playing really. James Wiseman has had a really rough start. So yeah, that'll be interesting to watch. Obviously they're talented, but I mean, it's kind of surprising to see Wiseman get off to a really rough start. And then I'm a big fan of Moses Moody. I think he's actually played pretty okay. But these young guys that Golden State's relying on because they lost Gary Payton II, they lost Otto Porter Jr. I don't think Nemanja Bjelica there anymore. Like they're relying on some of their younger guys, and it doesn't look like they're ready to be put in that spot yet. So maybe we can catch Golden State when they're still kind of figuring out their chemistry because. I know that they just won the championship, but a lot of the guys that are playing right now, they didn't play during the championship run. So they're still trying to figure it out as well. But yeah. Let's see here. I think I have one more play, but if I can't find it, I'm just gonna call it here because I have work to do, guys. Projects. And then I will be streaming on Wednesday. I'm guaranteeing. One second, Joe. I guarantee you I'm going to be streaming on Wednesday, so I'll definitely be streaming after the Pelicans game, which is hopefully going to be a win for the Bulls. We'll see how they guard Zion, which is going to be interesting. Your opinion on Will Purdue's post-game coverage style. Is this just asking like just my overall opinion on Will Purdue? I think that's what you're asking. So if you're just asking kind of like how I think Will Purdue and his post-game coverage is, like in his analysis, I think Will is overall pretty smart. Oh, like it or not? Okay, yeah. I personally like Will Purdue. I think he's actually smarter than Kendall Gill. I think Kendall Gill if you listen to what Kendall says, and I like Kendall as a person, but I think Kendall Gill basically kind of is almost like arguing with himself. You know, he'll say one thing and then be saying the exact opposite thing like his next sentence. You know, it's really interesting to listen to him. Uh, but I like both of them. His delivery you're talking about. I think Will talks a lot. I will say that. I think it's kind of like he doesn't get to the point as quickly as he probably should on like a broadcast. You know, on a live broadcasted show. Um, if you know what I'm saying. Uh, I kind of think of it as like when I'm doing like YouTube videos or when I'm doing uh something that has to be quick, I get to the point immediately, right? But I think Will kind of takes a second to get there, and it kind of slows down the tempo just a little bit, but I still overall respect his opinion and everything that he has to say. I actually met Will Purdue at DePaul. He came to one of my classes as a guest speaker. And he's a really nice dude, and I got a chance to talk with him for about a minute or so. And I appreciate that he even took the time to do such a thing. But he's a really really great guy, and everything. But I understand if you kind of criticize his delivery on some of the things. He kind of takes a little bit to get to the point, um, and stuff like that. But yeah, let's see here. As you can see, Zach obviously had a great game tonight. Um, you met Cristiano Felicio. How did that go, Joe? I don't know what I would do if I met Felicio. I don't know if I would even say anything to him. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Felicio was here doing some of the weirdest years and everything. Helped him shop up at Walmart. Shook his hand. Nice. Yeah. Hopefully it was cool. I'm gonna guess he was cool, but that dude, he got paid. Not to disrespect him too hard, but he got paid when he should have gotten paid. Yeah, that was not a good contract by Garpax, which is a good reason why they're out of office. Yeah. All right. Want to point out one more thing here. Let's see. Da-da-da. Yeah, so Bulls, their defensive rating right now is currently 11th. Maybe it changes after this game. It's probably a little bit better after this game. Uh, so I think it's just good to see this Bulls team that they're really defending right now, and it looks like honestly their offense is kind of the issue. I think one of the biggest issues right now that I'm seeing is turnovers, which is not something that I would expect because this Bulls team is usually pretty good with the turnovers recently. Recently it's been bad, but in the past season or so they've been pretty good with turnovers. So it's kind of odd to see that, but defensively there's still room to grow, but they're doing better than last season, I would say, overall. Obviously, they're doing better than what we saw at the end of last season, so they have to keep this up moving forward. So did they say Zach was going to be more consistent from now on? If you talk about his play and like his availability, I think we're going to see Zach basically play almost every single game from here on out until it's like sometime in December here. It's Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks in Heat game. It's Dallas and Atlanta. That's their next back to back. So I think we're gonna see Zach play every single game until December 10th or 11th. Um, I haven't really heard anything that's been said. Maybe there was something post game by Billy Donovan that I just haven't seen yet. But I think that's what we're going to see from Zach from here on out because there is no back to back, which is great. The Bulls got killed with the amount of back to backs they had to start the season. That was ridiculous. So luckily the Bulls are through the first 12 because the first 12 was not easy and they got out with 6-6, which is better than what I expected. So yeah. I'm going to say that Zach is playing every single game from here on out until December 10th. That's just my guess. Due to the no back-to-backs until then. And then we're going to see, I mean, even this in December, we're going to see how Zach is feeling, right? If Zach is feeling a lot better and looks almost close to 100%. And maybe he plays both those games, right? But either way, it's just gonna be good. It's just gonna be good to know that Zach's gonna be playing like most of these games because uh, it's very evident the Bulls need him, right? Um, and he'll make things a lot easier on specifically DeRozan, but also the rest of the team if he's playing in all these games. Because I mean, like I said, these are not easy games coming up for this Bulls team. Um, yeah. Just one more thing about Zach, just because I just don't understand how much like why this dude gets so much criticism, in my opinion. Uh, I think you saw tonight why the Bulls need Zach, right? Um, I know Adam isn't here. Maybe he is watching, but Adam kind of asked me. And I'm not calling him out too hard here, but he kind of asked me like, "Well, you said that the Bulls don't win last game, even if Zach played. Does that show like he's not valuable?" I'm like, no, I'm not trying to say that Zach's not valuable at all. You saw his value tonight, right? But I was just upset last game at how the Bulls as a team played. Like, I don't think it mattered who else was on the roster. It could have been Kevin Durant on the roster. I still think the Bulls would have lost last game because uh, they didn't play it correctly. They gave up too many transition points, too many points in the paint, too many second chance points, etc. But obviously, in a game like tonight, you're seeing how important Zach is, and as a guy that has been in those arguments with Joe Coley before on Twitter, and Joe Coley tried to make me look like an absolute douche on his Twitter account. Like I've said that Zach deserves the max, and you're seeing why, 100% why he deserves the max entirely. Um, so as Coley tweeted out at the beginning of the year that I the idiot, or are they and I'm the idiot, right? But I'm gonna throw that right back at him. Like, you calling me the idiot, right? I'm not. I think it's very evident across the entire league that Zach LaVine is a max contract player, and this dude is gonna work his butt off no matter what happens with them. Um, and he is shooting the lights out of the ball, lights out so far to start the year, but step by step process. I think because Zach is supposed to be our best player, he gets compared to KD and Giannis and stuff, so he has the highest bar to cross than anyone. I understand if that's the case, but those guys are being paid the supermax, right? There's a difference. I never said Zach LaVine's a supermax player. He's not, and I'll be the first one to say that. But he's a max player, and I think I don't know why that's such a big issue for Bulls fans. Yeah. I understand the expectation, raises because he is a max player. Like I totally agree with that expectation. It's just that you can't also be expecting him to be an MVP when he's clearly not that sort of caliber of player, right? He got paid to be a max caliber player, not a super max caliber player, right? He's not being paid like the Currys or the Giannis's or the Doncic's of the world right now. He's being paid as a max player, which is being a multiple time All Star and one of the best All Stars in the league right now, but not MVP, right? So yeah. So just wanted to kind of just kind of put it in everyone's faces again, and tell the haters to Zach like, hey, yeah, see, we need this guy, and this investment with the max contract is 100% worth it. Right? It's just straight up is, and I'm still gonna stand by this from here on out. That Zach LaVine contract is so important because it shows the rest of the league that they're willing to pay for talent, right? This Bulls team should not be looking to have to build through the draft like these other teams have to, right? They're a big market team that has money to spend if Jerry Reinsdorf hopefully leaves soon. But even if Jerry Reinsdorf is still in office or as owner, like the Bulls should still be spending money, and it shows to the rest, not only to the rest of the league, but also to these guys on this roster. Like, if you have talent, the Bulls are going to be willing to pay you. For example, Ayo Dosunmu, the dude's going to be getting paid this offseason. And he should be going out and in restricted free agency and getting the biggest contract that he can and have all the faith in the world that the Bulls are going to match it. That's how he should, go into this offseason. And the Bulls should 100% match whatever contract he gets. That's the importance of showing that showing that max contract or giving that max contract to Zach. That's why it's so important. And it shows that, again, Bulls are willing to pay for talent. Because, again, I keep saying 2024, man, a lot of free agents on the market that look really good. You got to be willing to say, we're willing to pay you because you're talented. So that contract is huge. Don't need to isolate the top of the key. We can run him off screens, give him the ball, deal with the double team with ease. Yeah, I don't know if you saw my stream last night, Marvin, but I was saying the exact same thing, honestly. Yeah, I kind of wish that the Bulls were running DeMar off pin downs and getting him kind of work to the elbow area and then absorb the double team there. But yeah, either way, I don't think they did that tonight, but we saw DeMar, I think, off ball a lot more tonight, which was good. And even when he was being double teamed at the top of the key, the Bulls were still making the right moves, which is good to see. That's a step in the right direction. It's not ideal, I'd say, but it's at least a step in the right direction where they understood what to do when the double team happened at the top of the key. So yeah, I can accept that because they did the right thing. Also, the Lakers are being destroyed by the Jazz again, and I don't know if you guys were seeing about the whole Anthony Davis stuff. Anthony Davis might be available, which is kind of interesting, honestly. But this is something I'm going to be watching from here on out. But yeah, I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see for the rest of the NBA if AD is actually available. So that's something to keep tabs on. But yeah. Let's see here. And that is a stupid, annoying bot. All right, cool. This is when I need Calvin. Calvin's my only mod, and I need him. I need him for stuff like this. Let's see. 4 out of 6 wins this season against top Eastern Conference teams. They're looking pretty good, guys. Yeah, I agree with you. I feel a lot better about this team than I did at the end of last season. Like a lot better about this team, easily. I apologize for the stupid ad or bot that just got set in that is not appropriate. Hopefully that message is deleted now. But yeah, I agree with you, Marvin. I totally agree. How do you think AD's value is going to be after this season if they stay in the same trajectory? I already think the Lakers. The Lakers, you mean? Oh, yeah, the Lakers stay in the same trajectory, which I don't think the Lakers make the playoffs. So I already think AD's value is like tanked, right? So let's just go off of what the AD trade from the Pelicans to the Lakers was, right? Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram. I'm probably missing somebody, but that was a haul that the Pelicans got back, and obviously, all of the first round picks in the world. He's obviously not that anymore due to age, but just in general, like you're seeing right now that Anthony Davis is like not necessarily like a superstar, right? When he got traded, he was a superstar, but right now, when I thought he should be the superstar in the Lakers right now, with LeBron being 37 or about to be 38, like he should be the guy, but he's just not being the guy. And because of that, I think his value's tanked. And I think obviously injuries, also play a little bit of a role in that as well. But honestly, like the people are kind of saying, like they wouldn't be shocked right now because of how big his contract is. That if the Lakers suddenly are looking at like, okay, we'll take on 2 big salary fillers and then a first round pick that's unprotected, a first round pick that is kind of somewhat protected, and then maybe some couple of seconds for Anthony Davis, because his value with that big contract, it goes way down. So it'll be interesting to see if like a contending team is willing to kind of bite the bullet and be like, I know he's injury prone. I know I know he is not exactly what he was a couple of years ago, but he could be, their best player on a championship caliber team. They're gonna be willing to pay that sort of, sort of like value in a trade. So just something to watch. And the reason I pointed that out is because there's been rumors already that Woj has kind of leaked out saying that if the Lakers lose again to Utah, that they're gonna start looking. Or sorry, if the Lakers lose to Utah tonight, the Lakers are gonna start potentially shopping AD, and I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case. Um, because I don't see Anthony Davis's value getting any higher if the longer he stays on the Lakers. So yeah, just something kind of just pay attention to. Um, and just something really interesting just to keep your tabs on for the rest of the league. Because, I mean, there are definitely teams that I feel like could use an Anthony Davis. But what about you, Viper Strike? What do you think? Is his value tanking, or do you think his value is still kind of similar to what we saw before in the initial trade for him? Because I personally think his value is tanked a lot and is just going to continue to tank as the season goes on. But yeah, let's just keep watch of that because that's definitely something that I think is gonna be interesting just to keep tabs on for the rest of the league. I think his health is honestly the only problem I have with him. Okay, yeah. Um, I personally, my biggest issue right now with AD is that it just doesn't look like he wants to be that top scorer on a team. Uh, he is not that different of a player than before. It's just the Lakers are as a whole a fire. Okay, I could see that argument. I just think even with the Lakers not being great, as a team, I feel like Anthony Davis should easily be averaging 27, 28 points per game. I think he's that talented uh, like he's that talented and that big, with an amazing skill set. Like I feel like he should easily average that, but it just doesn't look like he's gonna get to that point. And if he does, then it's like he's taking a bunch of shots just to get there. So I personally think that he's not exactly exerting himself 100% or like giving 100% effort. I mean, I saw a stat earlier that was like Anthony Davis in his jump shot field goal percentage is like one of the worst in the league again, which is something we saw the previous year, which he was injured a lot last season. But that's not good. I mean, we're talking about a dude that was shooting threes consistently with good field goal percentage. Can shoot anywhere on the floor, and then all of a sudden now it's like he can't shoot outside of the paint. He's still obviously effective. He can still score inside the paint very effectively, but I just think that he could really be like a top tier scorer still, but I just don't see it happening from him. Much love, man. I appreciate it, Mickey. Appreciate it a lot. Glad to see you here. Did you just join? I think you just joined. I appreciate you watching. So yeah, just pay attention to the Lakers and what they're gonna do. I also it's so funny to me, man. Like I see Lakers fans and they're like, oh, maybe we could trade Russell Westbrook for Nikola Vucevic and DeMar DeRozan. Like they're saying at the beginning of the season, and it's like people are saying watch the Bulls as a team that could potentially blow it up this season. And I'm just like, what? The Bulls don't have control over their pick this year. Like, why would they blow it up this year? It makes no sense. And now it's all of a sudden it's turned on its head where now it's like the Lakers might look to blow it up this season. But they also don't have control over their draft pick. That goes to the Pelicans, so it's like maybe they don't blow it up this season. Yeah, just something to watch moving forward here. And then the other person that I'd be very interested in is Kevin Durant now because the Kyrie Irving situation is officially, he's suspended. I know the Players Association isn't exactly too happy about that right now, but if Kyrie's out and KD's kind of, upset at the Nets organization again, and the Nets maybe just want to just completely move on and just forget about this whole thing and reset, like, maybe the Nets get desperate and look to move KD for maybe not his actual value. So maybe they take something a little bit under. I keep saying, I keep seeing on Twitter the Suns, man. I just saw a tweet before I started stream that was like, don't talk to me about Mikal Bridges and Kevin Durant. Like, I guess some Suns fans are saying that they want to keep Mikal Bridges. They don't want to include him in a Kevin Durant trade. He's not worth giving up for KD. I'm just like, man, if I can get Kevin Durant, man, I am giving up anybody on that team. I don't care who it is. I'm giving up anybody. And obviously, you try to keep Devin Booker and CP3. But then anybody else, goodbye. That's Kevin Durant. I'm giving up anybody. Not named CP3 and Devin Booker. So, yeah, just, this is the fun stuff about the NBA, man. I love this type of talk where it's like, stuff like this probably doesn't happen, but we can always just kind of think about it and just kind of have a fun conversation about it. Then that's just so weird, man. Really, I really thought this was going to be the year they focused, but man, was I wrong? I mean, I I call them the Kardashians of the NBA, man. I think I said this before, but yeah, it seems like this is supposed to be the year, right? And it didn't work. I said on the stream before I thought Steve Nash was a horrible coach. They obviously scapegoated him. I still don't think he deserved the job, but he got scapegoated, and he honestly probably wanted to be fired out of Brooklyn. And when you're two superstars and KD and Kyrie, they're not actively engaged with the team or not 100% engaged on winning as a ball club, like this is the result. Like you could have all the talent in the world, but if your superstars don't care, this is what happens. So yeah, I definitely thought that this was kind of like the year where at least it looks better, but obviously it's gone the opposite way, and it looks like it's being thrown in the dumpster. And now Ben Simmons is injured and just came back today, and he just came off the bench. And we thought Ime Udoka was going to be hired in 48 hours after Steve Nash got fired, and that hasn't happened yet. So I don't know, man. The Nets are just a weird team, and they have a lot to figure it out before they can start moving on. Guys, I don't think we give Billy Donovan enough credit. Great coaching adjustments to win this game, guys. I mean, I'll just say I'll give Billy Donovan credit for this game, but I was not happy with him last game. Like I thought he should have made a bunch of in-game adjustments last game in Toronto. He didn't, though. That's where I was pretty upset. And I'm a Donovan defender usually, but I was like saying he needs to do a better job. He just straight up has to. Obviously, he did a better job tonight, but it took last game for him to figure it out. At least Yuta Watanabe is looking like a good player in comparison. Yeah, I like Yuta Watanabe, but he just left the game tonight with like a left ankle sprain. So I hope he's all right. But yeah, I hope he's doing okay because that would suck. I like him though. I'm a big fan of Yuta Watanabe as well. I think he's a fun player. All right. So, gonna wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys chatting with me again. Again, shorter stream. Got homework. Gotta get stuff done. But the Wolves play the New Orleans Pelicans next. Obviously, big thing is control Zion, control Brandon Ingram, control CJ McCollum. Yet again, I'm gonna be looking at the boards in this game. This is a game where you can't let the Pelicans dominate the boards. They play pretty big. Obviously, with Zion at the 5, Jonas Valanciunas. Zion at the 4, Jonas Valanciunas at the 5. They have a good amount of length and size on that team. So it's important that the Bulls do a good job of winning the rebounding battle and don't let the Pelicans get second chance opportunities. And the other thing I think for me is the turnovers. So that's the two key things for me right now is win the rebounding battle, and then the turnovers, you gotta limit them because this Pelicans team, with Zion, with BI, with CJ McCollum, obviously they have a bunch of other guys in Herb Jones, Najee Marshall, Dyson Daniels, like all these guys. They're long, lengthy defenders, and they're gonna absolutely burn you on the fast break if you turn it over. So the Bulls, to win this game, win the rebounding battle, limit your turnovers. If you do all that, I think if you control the ball well enough, this Pelicans team isn't exactly the best defensive team in my opinion. And the Bulls should be able to take advantage of them in the half court with their offense, especially if Zach's playing. So just take care of the ball and make sure they don't get offensive or second chance opportunities. And I think this Bulls team should look pretty good against the New Orleans Pelicans. Not promising a win, obviously, but that helps them a lot when it comes to facing the Pelicans. I'm a fan of Jose Alvarado's hustle. I like to see a matchup of him and I. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. And a guy like Jose is definitely someone that can get a lot of steals against this Bulls team, right? He can provide a big spark to the Pelicans offense. So Yeah, that's the reason why it's so important for this Bulls team to take care of the ball. And yeah, him and Io, I guarantee we're gonna see that matchup at some point. So that'll be fun to watch as well. But yeah, that's the next matchup for the Bulls, and the Bulls have a few days off after that. But like I said earlier, I'll be doing a live post game stream for this one, probably a little bit longer. And hopefully the Bulls get a win in that one. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Bulls got the win tonight against the Toronto Raptors after dropping last night's game. So the Bulls are back to being 500 again. And hopefully they can take this momentum against the New Orleans Pelicans on Wednesday. Zach LaVine had an amazing game tonight. So good to see him look more like Zach LaVine, the usual Zach LaVine that we're used to seeing. But before I go, here's my Twitter account. If you're not following me on Twitter, I would really appreciate it. If you want to see all my live tweeting and analysis on the game when it's going on, I am always live tweeting on every single Bulls game, so you can check it out there. If you have not already, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button on the stream. That helps me out a lot. If you're new to the channel, I would also appreciate if you can hit the subscribe button. If you like Chicago Bulls content, I think I can bring a lot of good content to you guys on a weekly basis. So go ahead and do that. And then I just recently put up a new blog post on my blog. So go ahead and check that out with this link that I'm putting in chat right now. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for coming out and chatting with me again. Fun night for the Bulls. And obviously it's going to be a fun game next time against the Pelicans. But it's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys next one. Peace, y'all.